What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the
Hey,
2A Brotherhood podcast. We really appreciate you guys coming and spending time with us. We have a very special guest with us. We have Billy. He is a Grandmaster shooter. Please take some time. The floor is yours, and introduce yourself, and we will get this thing kicked off.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on tonight. On this Friday, finally end of the week.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, I'm Billy Herrington. Yeah, I know some people may see me on Instagram here and there, posting my epic adventures in life. Um, you'll see me on there with my son Braden. We started practical shooting. June will be 4 years ago. I did 24 years in the Army. Retired out of that back in September 2020. And after that, I kind of wanted something to do, I guess, in my spare time that I had so much of. I thought I was going to have so much of. When you retire, hey, nothing to do. No, you get a lot more busy when you retire. I found out. So we started doing that, and I dabbled in law enforcement. Doing mostly volunteer work with them, certified. I made sure I did that part of it. Worked the road, specialized in DUI a lot of their SWAT stuff and the tactical stuff, because I had the experience, being a career infantryman. But kind of migrated into the training, especially after my academic background. The Army, paid for my bachelor's and my master's, so it kind of gave me a leg up in the world, I guess you could say. What I do now is I'm a civilian contractor for National Guard Bureau, and I am the subject matter expert for the infantry. The National Guard teaches the infantry courses, across the 48 and Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico, which I did a staff visit with Puerto Rico back in February to check on the RTI because they were having an accreditation from, it's Fort Benning now. We went back to
Yeah, was it Fort Freedom or something? Or
so it's Fort Moore, which
yeah.
I wasn't too terribly upset about. Right, great name. Didn't really care for the reasonings. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, they go out there and they check on the National Guard schools to make sure that they're doing everything they're supposed to, right? Well, we just happened to tell them, hey, we're available this certain week of February. Well, the Saturday and Sunday after that week just happened to be the Caribbean Open. So I just happened to already be down there. And my son Braden happened to get a plane ticket. So me, him, and Joey Sauerland shot the Caribbean Open together down there in near right outside of San Juan at R&L Shooting Club, and met up with Derek Valentin and Acer Dynamics, and he was a wonderful host, and we had an absolute blast in the rainforest. Every hour it rained for 5 minutes. I fell and busted my ass in the mud.
Did you see giant bugs there?
Oh yes. The iguanas were hilarious on the south end of the island. We were down around Ponce doing the staff visit all week, and the iguanas, the two guys I was with hadn't been there before. This was about my third trip down there, and the iguanas go running across the road, and these dudes are just like they're flipping out. The two green suiters, the guys still in the Army, of which I've served most of my career with, by the way, and. They're seeing these huge iguanas, 3 feet long, going across the road. I'm like, yeah, it's a big lizard, driving to Louisiana in the swamp with teeth, But that was probably one of the best trips that I've been able to finagle out of the Army in the whole time in the Army, and now as a contractor after Army life. So that's going to be a special one for a while. Braden had never flown that far or been out of the continental United States. So he really enjoyed it, and he loved it down there too. So
That's good.
The Walmarts down there, their shopping carts, or as we call them in the South, the buggies, all 4 wheels are caster wheels. They have something down there that we don't have. that we need. You can push the bastard sideways.
Yeah.
Never turn. It's simply amazing. It was a 2-story Walmart with an escalator in the middle. It was wonderful. It was amazing.
You're telling me about your son. Did he just make some kind of shooting
accolade
credential or something like that?
Yeah. There was a time whenever I was always beating him, and those days are long gone. So this year we shot Aim for the Coast was our first major down there in Florida. He took high junior. Yeah, he took high junior. Then we shot the South Carolina section, I believe it was. Sounds right. His trophy just came in today. He was 8th in Open. He was like, I was like, well, at least you weren't 15th like I was. I tell anybody that I shot carry optics for a while, and then I went limited optics for a little bit. And I was like, I'm going to try Open. And this year, I've shot Open exclusively, except for a couple times. I've like Caribbean Open, I shot limited optics because of getting ammo down there. But anybody that tells you Open division is easier, you're full of shit. It's a whole nother animal. But we shot the Alabama State Championship 2 weekends ago, I think it was. And he came in 3rd place in Open and 1st M class and high junior overall. And to come in at 90% of Mike Wong is quite an accomplishment. I was proud of him. But yeah, so he's consistently he'll have a hiccup here and there. But today is his birthday. He just turned 18 today.
Hey,
yeah, you were telling me.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I was forgetting that.
He's got the same birthday as the 4th member of this podcast.
Was that?
He's not on tonight. So your son has the same birthday as the 4th member of this podcast, our friend Austin. Mm-hmm. He's not on tonight, but yeah, today's his birthday too.
Happy birthday, Austin!
Well, happy birthday, Austin!
Yes, Austin. Shout out to Austin, dude. You guys got to see his birthday video.
Mm-hmm.
Did he tell you about it?
With the Africans?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sent it in the. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can pay a tribe of Africans to do a birthday message for you, and they had like this picture that was like printed out. Matter of fact, let me just play it because Austin actually wanted us to play it while we were live. So
this sounds fun.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? And then he started. Well, let me just not say anything else and let you guys see it. I had no idea this was a thing, but his wife is the one who found it.
Oh, okay.
And it's like paying for a service. So, but anyway, you guys go.
Paying for a service like a prostitute?
In a different way.
Happy 30th birthday, Austin.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday! The biggest! The largest! We love you! We love you! Austin!
We love you, Austin. We love you. I love it, dude.
Austin, the biggest fear.
Flexing on him.
Oh my God.
Is that a wig? Yo.
He hit him with the.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Stop!
Safe to say I'm the biggest, the largest. Been stepping up, this is my mama saying I'm a part.
Yeah.
Tell me keep the heat.
You guys
It's this long, dude.
Because I'm the biggest, the largest.
think we might get a
I
copy.
think that guy likes Austin.
Diabolical right there.
And then he holds the picture up again, dude. I love it.
He does have a freaking wig on.
That is a wig, yeah.
Oh, that's a dude, isn't it?
You see that guy on the right? You see that guy on the right with the red? Oh my god.
This is mad cool, man.
That is mad cool, dude.
I wish my wife's birthday hadn't passed already.
Well, you know whose birthday's coming up next, right?
Yours?
Dimitri, isn't it your birthday?
My birthday's in September.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it is mine next.
Yeah.
You get them belated birthdays.
His wife, actually Austin's wife. But anyway,
she's a good wife. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah.
That's different. That's definitely different.
Yeah. Billy, can you explain the difference? So I just signed up for my first match, and I didn't know what to freaking pick between limited or carry. I picked carry. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Can you talk about what the difference in the two divisions are?
All right. So the biggest difference in carry optics and limited optics is what type of gun and what you can have on it, right? So a single action gun can only be in limited optics.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're shooting 2011, it's got to be in limited optics.
Mm.
A magwell can only be in limited optics, and I'll tell you this in the easiest way I can. A true thumb rest can only be in limited optics. Now, they do have thumb rests that are part replacements. So like a slide lock thumb rest, legal in carry optics. Right? I've got one on my Shadow 2 that I shot all through when I was in carry optics. And that's legal in carry optics. So for carry optics, the gun has to be on the approved, I think it's on the approved list for like the production guns, and they're kind of interchangeable with each other. Double action or single action for carry optics, striker fired for carry optics. No single actions only, right? Obviously, have an optic on it. And it can be frame mounted. It has to be mounted on the gun between the ejection port and the rear of the slide. And that mounting is the same for limited optics. So, limited optics gun, 2011, single action, frame mounted, thumb rest, big magwell on it, right?
That looks sexy.
Yeah, it is.
So that's
layered. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You would think you can't miss it.
Now
you put hair around it, you still miss it.
Hey.
Like a blunderbuss.
At least the thing is a long hole.
But so if you think of like the Shadow 2 with no magwell on it, carry optics. Then you have magazine limitations in the lengths. 140 millimeters is as long as you can go on your magazines for both divisions. That's usually the biggest thing that gets people between LO and CO. Gotcha. And a great reference is to look at the USPSA rulebook in the appendixes. Appendix, don't let me lie the number to you, but you go to if you open it up, it's hyperlinked, and you roll down to the appendixes, and it'll say the division. And you click it, and boom, takes you right to it, and it tells you. And they're all minor power factor. So just get you some 9mm ammo. I do not suggest Blazer 115. Just Winchester White Box 115, because you can. People do it all the time, but I prefer to kind of match my ammo to what I'm shooting if I can. I don't reload minor ammo like for LO or CO or whatever. I'll reload Super Comp because it's outrageously expensive if you have to buy it already loaded. Reloading it makes it a little better, but you can tune it a little better to your gun and what it likes to gas it and all those kind of things and open. But
Gotcha.
what are you shooting?
I have a G17 that I'm shooting.
Ah, carry optics.
Classic.
Yeah, you can't know. So the thing about this too is you can shoot it in either division. If it's carry optics legal, it's also limited.
Limited.
Now it's not the other way, but CO can go to LO, and that's what I did with mine. I would so like before CO Nationals last year, I would sign up for a local match in CO and LO and shoot the stages twice. And getting about this time of year to get myself a little more conditioning mentally and physically. Not for any other reason other than to shoot 12 stages.
Gotcha.
And I would usually try to run them differently. Just, kind of help prep myself and prepare myself. So, did it work? I don't know.
Yeah, when I was signing up, last time I tried to sign up, I logged in at 8:05 and it was all sold out. So this time I had an alarm on my phone and I'm signing up and it's asking me for my practice score number. I was like, what the fuck is that? I'm going through all my emails and I'm like, it's nothing. And then Josh Morgan, he's a guy we've had on here a couple times. He's a Grandmaster irons. And not a Grandmaster, he's a Master irons. And he was like, just put XXXXX. And I did that and I got in. I was like, oh, thank God. Because like it gives you the number. It's like, this is how many spots are left. And then you like refresh the page and it's like, what the fuck is going on? In 5 minutes?
They're all getting taken. Yep.
Yes. So where are you in the country?
So me and Rob are in Maryland. Josh is in Texas.
Okay. Yeah. Rather than Maryland and even Texas, a lot of those locals, man, they sell out fast, real fast.
I didn't know whether it was that fast last time. So
some of them do.
Yep.
Like I was actually like very surprised because everyone that I've talked to about guns or anything, they never mentioned competition. There was only one person that ever mentioned competition shooting, and that was my concealed carry instructor. He was the only person. I was like, "There's competition." I mean, I knew there was like competitions, but I thought it was like Olympics or some, you know what I mean? That kind of shooting. I never knew about this side of things until we started this podcast.
Yeah, I didn't. When I was still in the Army, I was working at Camp Shelby. One of my guys had started USPSA. I think about 2016, 2017. And I didn't really know a lot about it. He said, "Man, you gotta come out and try." I was like, I was of the old mentality that you hear a lot of now, still, especially like with law enforcement and others are just like, I get you killed in the streets, all that kind of jazz. So he kind of laughed at me whenever I started shooting, and he ended up stopping because his shoulders went bad and he had shoulder reconstructive surgery in his shoulder and just couldn't do it anymore. But we still talk and he'll keep an eye and he sees what I'm doing and he's like, "Man, I wish I could get back out there and do it again," And he keeps cheering me and cheering Braden on and everything. So it's funny to see how the shoe's on the other foot, so to speak, now, But
so man, 24 years of service. You saw the BDUs, the DCUs, the ACUs, the multicams, all that stuff. Out of all of those camos, which do you think performed the best?
This motherfucker right
here. Well, it certainly wasn't ACU. I know.
Glad you're at Texas. Man, so I never thought one uniform would work in multiple environments. So Just call me dumb. Yeah. Green works in the woods. Brown works in the desert. I
There
mean,
you go. Exactly. Like you have the Marines have a woodland uniform and a desert uniform. So
yeah. I'm like, what's wrong with that?
yeah.
We kind of we didn't do too bad. When I was in Iraq the first time in
Mm.
'05, we went from BDUs to DCUs. It's like, well, yeah, we were in the cities and towns and whatever, but yeah, whatever. I mean, it was good, and I didn't have any issues with it or anything. I think it all kind of boiled down to, I think people lose touch with reality when they get into certain positions and higher in rank. They forget where they come from.
Mm.
And I tried to never do that.
They let a little bit of rank change them.
A lot.
He's a lot.
And they get there and, not everybody looks exactly the same. And I get the point of a uniform, right?
Mhm.
But when you're in a transitional period from going from the United States to, I don't know, a desert war, and then you're coming back, you got to have a little bit of time to adjust and to get that clothing situation or uniform or whatever back to normal, back to how it should be. And I think just some people just couldn't handle that, just because they just want to be an asshole because they were picked on as a kid or something. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
That's how I looked at it. Well, and then I would say that. Well, I was never the popular one, so.
It didn't go over too well.
oh,
No, it didn't. It didn't at all. And
Well, that's pretty typical. I wasn't. I was 25 series, so I wasn't. But I was in an infantry unit, and
you know what I'm talking about
you
now.
come across that kind of thing. That's pretty typical.
Mhm.
But yeah, and I was just thinking, like, the digital camo thing. I mean, was it a mistake to start using digital camo? I mean, the Marines are, they've had it forever. They've been using it for a long time, but the ACUs were just kind of like, I know you probably saw that picture of the guy who's laying down on the couch, and it was like, this is about the only thing the ACUs are good for, to blend in with this grandma's couch.
Yeah, and then you get stuck to it. It's like, I attributed it. So the Army's changing their PT test again. Right?
Yeah, I heard.
They're changing their PT uniform again.
Really?
It's like, yeah.
I didn't hear about the uniform.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And there it is.
I mean, and it does.
I didn't even see him until I looked.
Yeah, you see the boots first. It's like,
yeah. You want to take a look at this new PT uniform too?
There's I don't know if they have a concept out yet or not. I can't remember. I caught a glimpse of it, an article somewhere. I think a lot of it is a problem that's plagued a lot of different institutions. Is somebody wants to leave their mark.
Yeah.
I want to be. They can't be known for anything other than some stupid shit.
Yeah.
So I want this new uniform. I want to change the uniform to this. I want to do this or that. I want to
just because, yeah.
Man, when I took over the training battalion and an infantry training battalion, I was like, I ain't coming here to change shit, leave my name anywhere, or do anything. This is going fine. We'll look at it. What do you not like? And there were some things that they didn't like, some forms that didn't need to be done. It's like, well, let's quit doing them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, that is me. There's no sense in let's change uniforms. Why? Because we can.
Just because, yeah.
Because a 1-star wants a second, and a second wants a third, and so on. And this sergeant major wants to, instead of being the state, he wants to be the senior enlisted leader, and then he wants to go to NGB and be that sergeant major. Yeah.
Like, well,
that's the one that I sent a chocolate dick to, by the way.
I came in like a year or two after they got rid of the marshmallow PTs and switched to that gray jacket with the black pants. And
Oh,
then
the old sweats.
yeah, yeah, exactly, the sweatpants and yeah, those were good.
I
But
mean,
I never got issued them. But anyway,
my
yeah. So
mom.
the new ones are kind of nice though, the black track jacket and everything. Um, but yeah. So we were talking about the PT test earlier, I just wanted to point out that the Marines have their basic fitness test, your pull ups, your crunches, and your 3 mile run, and then they have a separate PT test for the combat side.
Mhm.
So it's like testing your skills that you would use in combat, your endurance. And then instead, the army just went ahead and just threw it all together. Kept the three events the same. They got rid of sit ups and did a plank instead. But it's like now it's being changed again. Like, you
So
know,
the events aren't changing. It doesn't look like, from what I can remember.
I heard, yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
I think they got rid of one actually, and I think it might have been the power throw.
yeah, 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 yeah. The ball throw thingy. I mean, that was dumb. Whatever.
Both. What is it
Yeah.
like this?
No,
No,
you got to throw it over your head behind you, some kind of shit like that. I never had to
Oh,
do it. Like I retired like right before it was forced implementation. So I was like, I'm not doing
mm.
that shit.
So what is that supposed to be for? Throwing it?
It makes you look
Like,
like a dumbass.
yeah, exactly. There you go.
Somebody who was really into CrossFit.
They
Yes.
were,
Oh,
and it's
Great
true.
idea.
yeah.
And there was somebody. Well, I can't say who, but I knew someone who was stationed at a unit with a person that was one of the like front runners developing this ACFT, this combat fitness test for the army, and it's just straight garbage.
Mhm.
So what is it now? Like
It's still
what's
that
PT?
the
Yeah.
six
It's,
events.
It's a plank. It's
Oh,
push-ups
a
and a
hand
run.
release push up. Hand release.
oh, that's even. Oh man, the hand release push up is even worse.
Yeah. Sprint
What
drag
what's a hand
carry.
release?
I don't
What's a
know.
hand
So,
release
let me see if
Like
push-up?
I'm.
you get down, you push up, you come down, then you put your arms out like a bird while you're laying on the ground. Then
Yeah.
you come back up and push up again. I mean, you can do some shit. So
Uh,
where I work now, I see basic leader course, master leader course, infantry ALC, maneuver simulator. I see all these some bitches out there doing it. I'm just like, you poor bastards.
I know, right?
is
Yeah,
that something you would use in a combat situation?
I never did.
And throwing it backwards like
I threw shit forward. It was about the size of a baseball. It went bang.
Here's what your hand release push up looks like.
What the heck,
It's
man?
like you're getting a rest there too. Like
Yeah, I know.
get your arms
Well, you
down.
just got to do like fucking 4 of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so,
like I
How
kid
many
you
of
not,
those do you have to do now?
I think the minimum for the males was like 10, right?
That's it?
It was it was something really low, like arbitrary. Like this doesn't
What the
like how is
fuck,
this a
man?
real test of endurance if
Yeah.
you get a rest in between every rep?
yeah.
It's not even that. Only 10? And
Ah,
how long? A
Yeah,
minute?
look.
why don't they make it stuff that you would use when you're in combat or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Like
What the,
so
carry around
on
some
the new
ammo.
one, the combat MOS is the 11s, 19s, 12s, 13s, 18s.
Yeah.
They've got to do at least 60% in each event, just like everybody else does. But they have to have a minimum composite score of 350.
Mhm.
And didn't they do the thing where they made it like gender neutral, so both?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
combat. For
Yeah.
combat MOSs. So
Yeah.
the only thing different is you got to get a 350 minimum.
Hmm.
So if 60% per event is required no matter what, and there's 5 events, right? That's 300.
That's right.
Now they did get rid of the easy 100, which was the the ball throw thing, right? Yeah, that was, if you were having a struggle day, you can survive everything past, and just you rock that son of a bitch, man. And then I think the 2-mile run is like 21 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I could finally pass the shit. Yeah.
I've been retired 5 fucking years. I can pass that.
Dude, they had like for people who are like on profile, you could walk the 2-mile. You could walk the 2-mile, and I think like you had to do it in like 22 minutes or something. So you could literally walk and still pass like easily, even if you're not on
5,000 meter
profile.
row was another one, something like that.
The what?
Walking pretty
5,000
fast if you
meter
got
row.
to.
Rowing machine, am I correct like that?
Yeah, something crazy. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. But
Exactly.
should it be more functionally aligned with the task? So they implemented that high physical demands test.
Mm-hmm.
So they started off when you enlisted. There was something else. It was OPAT. It was like if you're going to enlist in this MOS, you got to be able to do these certain things. Then when you got to your MOS training, you had to do the high physical demands. The only reason I know about the high physical demands is we used to teach reclass training. So somebody that was, like a 25 series that would come and want to be infantry because of a unit reassignment, or they moved and reassigned, they transferred, whatever, to an infantry billet, they would come and do an infantry reclass course. And HPDT was part of it. And it was like load a tow missile into a Bradley fighting vehicle, into the tow launcher. Pick the feeder up for a 25 millimeter main gun, move it across. You got to throw a hand grenade. You won't believe the son of bitches that couldn't pass that.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, 22, 23 years old. Couldn't throw a damn hand grenade.
No.
Well, they didn't throw it far enough, or didn't know how to throw it.
I didn't know how to throw.
Oh.
Ran 10 feet in front of them, like, holy, yeah.
Was the hand grenade? Was that
I wish it was live. No, it wasn't.
No, I was gonna say, was it
Sorry.
was that a go? Like, was it required for
Yes.
you to pass that, or else you couldn't? Okay, cool. So
You go home.
I went through Benning, right? And that was like, if you get it, cool, you can wear the badge. If you don't, don't worry about it.
Ain't no badge.
That's how it was.
Hey, you'll never need a grenade throw in the field,
Yeah, right?
You know what I'm saying?
God
It's a
forbid.
badge. You look like a dumbass going home, failing.
Yeah, 'cause nobody wears those, but it's like the marksmanship badge that you wear on your uniform, and basically people would just, about basic was like the only time you would see it, and then
You still wore it, didn't you?
I didn't get one. I failed.
Throwing the grenade?
Yeah.
How far do you have to throw that son bitch?
So it's actually
like, what the fuck?
you have a distance. You have, hey, at least I was honest. You have a distance, a couple distance throws, and then you have like you have to throw it into like a little like foxhole. You have to like peek over and toss it in a, but and then there was I forget what the other tests were, but yeah. And so that was, whatever, you just pass, you pass, whatever you don't, they don't care. But
Yeah, it was an actual qualification course, in initial entry training. Like for us, it was like, stand here, throw this fucker 35 meters, or you go home.
yeah, well, that's the simple one. And then
and there's you don't have to do that stupid, like, hand in the air, pointing and all that crap. I was like, here, throw it like a baseball. They're like, I've never thrown a baseball.
Yeah.
I bet your stupid ass played Call of Duty before, haven't you? Yeah. It's a little different
You
on a
didn't
grenade
see
here,
that?
isn't it, buddy?
So, speaking of Call of Duty, I went shooting with a couple of my friends, and they were shooting my AR, and all of them played Call of Duty, and one of them was actually shooting the ceiling. Actually, a couple of them were shooting the ceiling, but this particular one was just destroying the ceiling in this firing range. And I went up to him. I was like,
Oh, in
"Do you see
reality.
where you're hitting?" And he was like, "No." I'm like, "You see that dust falling down? That's where you're shooting." He was like, "Oh." I was like, "How are you lining up the sights?" He's like, "I have to line up the sights." And I looked at him. I was like, "You played Call of Duty before, right?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "When you look down the sights in Call of Duty, that's what that looks like. You never noticed that it's like this in Call of Duty?" He's like, "Oh, I didn't know I had to do that." I was like, "Okay, well, do that." And he actually started shooting straight, but then he shot the line that goes out, and then yeah, that was a yeah.
Yeah, we're fucked.
Yeah. Well, this was a while ago, though, right?
You do, yeah. You
Yeah.
do know him, Rob.
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah, you don't see a little like cross thing floating in front of your vision, do you?
Huh.
I didn't notice that. It don't work that way in reality,
Like,
buddy.
I mean, to
like,
shoot the ceiling, you literally have to have the weapon like straight, like this. You know what I mean?
he had iron
Mm.
sights, right? Or you had iron sights on? Like you
Yeah,
didn't?
yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
just got the EO Tech last Father's Day. Yeah,
Was he like hip
I've had,
firing? Like, look, he was
bruh,
Just
it
a
was
hip fire.
shouldered and
look,
everything.
he was shooting. He shot it like this. Look, yeah, that's where he was holding it.
Yeah, yeah. He might have been more accurate that way
Wait a minute.
if
I'm
he
supposed to aim the sight?
yeah. It's just that like the stupid like shit people do with weapons is just crazy, and how unsafe people are. You hand them a freaking handgun or a rifle, and the first thing they do is they put their finger on and put their finger on the trigger.
Oh, I've been flagged a few times. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just used to it. It's like whatever. It's my time. It's my time.
Well, we like this clip is one of our favorites. It always gets a laugh, but there's this a firearms
yeah.
instructor, and there's a
Bring your hand underneath the trigger
negligent
guard. Roll your
discard.
palms together. So both your hands are going to sit on the left-hand side of the pistol. You're going to lock out both your arms. You're going to push with your right and pull with your left. Focus on that front sight tip. Now, if you want on this 44 Magnum, you can shoot it single action. Because that's like trigger pull.
Did you mean to do that?
Yeah.
Put it off. Good. I give him that.
Yeah, man. Of course, I meant to do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Hell yeah.
Yeah, the gun almost hit him in his mouth.
He was just
I think it
immediately
did.
tell by his body language that he was so embarrassed.
Right.
Did you mean to do that?
Shoot it single action. Because that's like trigger pull.
Did you mean to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
Well,
when
he's
you
cheap
leave.
now, but yeah.
I wonder did he get fired for that?
Well, that's when you leave if your instructor is doing that shit.
Right.
Like, I want my money back.
No, you can keep it. I just want to leave.
like, hey, my instructor is famous on YouTube, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. But yeah, so that was a good one. And then one other clip. I mean, it might take me a second to find it, but the security camera footage where the man, he bends over and he's appendix carrying, concealed, and he pulls it, he bends over and then the firearm goes off and then he just pulls it out and throws the gun on the floor.
Mm. Yeah, it's the gun's fault, I'm sure. Must have been a SIG.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard it was a G43, but I also heard he had like a shitty like holster. So I don't know. Haven't shot my dick off yet, so
Me either. All I carry is appendix.
yeah.
I carry 2011. I carry Shadow Compact. I mean,
Here we go.
all smart on you.
Boom. Yep. There you go. So
I wonder did he shoot his junk off?
yeah,
The lady was ready.
Yeah. What do I need to do? I got gloves.
Let me see it.
The first thing I need to do. Okay, throw everything on the floor. Throw the gun on the floor. Throw a hot firearm.
Tourniquet,
No.
maybe.
Well, everybody was just like, okay, well, the woman was on point because she immediately was about to perform, first aid. Like immediately, she had gloves on in like less than 10 seconds, about to go inspect and like
How would you use a tourniquet if you shot your junk off?
put it around your
I
junk.
don't know about you, but I can get one on mine.
A hair tie.
Tell yourself you want to.
Get the hair tie out of her hair and just wrap it around a bunch of times. Grab the dick and put it in freaking peas.
But like,
Frozen peas.
if you shoot your shit flush, you know what I mean? Like,
it might pass through to the other, go to your leg.
I don't know what's worse, the leg or which one would you bleed out faster? If you shot your dick off, right?
If I shoot the one in the middle off, I just better bleed out.
Right?
Yeah.
Either way, you see the artery, so right.
Yeah.
Just
like
on
Dead Presidents. Shot, I promise you that.
Just like on Dead Presidents, remember? When he was
that album?
on Dead Presidents when they were in Vietnam, the what do they call the Vietnam people? Kooks? Is that what they call them? Yeah, the gooks cut his dick off and put it in his mouth and like had a sign on him, and he was like, "I can't go home like this."
Nah, so that was his intestines, man.
No, they stuck his dick in his mouth.
No, that was his intestines.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna look it up.
They cut his stomach.
We're about to find out. I have a feeling.
Well, we can't play it on here, but
yeah, you will be able to play it, but yeah,
it will get banned. All right, so I don't know how we always fucking drift away.
We always drift away to something about like dicks or something. That's the thing.
And Austin's not even here.
Talking about trannies.
Hey, Austin's not here. So, do you have any tips, tricks for my first shoot next week?
So your first match, be safe. Mm-hmm. Focus just on that. Don't worry about how fast anybody else is going. Don't worry about how fast they're shooting. Don't worry about how fast you're going to shoot. Just be safe. Mm-hmm. Get there in enough time. Like to the night before, load your magazines, have all that done, have all your stuff prepared and ready. That way you're not doing it at the range and everything else. Mm-hmm. They'll probably have like a new shooters meeting. Listen to them and they'll explain things to you, tell you more about the rules. If you haven't looked at them, you get on the USPSA website and look at the rules. Okay. You'll see things that you may not really know or think about. Like one of the things I'll see sometimes is people will come up and for their first match, and they'll have the gun already in the holster on the belt before they ever put it on. It's got to be in a bag. The bag has to be zipped closed where you can't access the trigger according to the rules. Now, technically, it's a DQ. I'm not that kind of person, though. I believe in extending a little grace to people, especially ones that are not informed. You can't handle your gun at all unless you're at a safe table or under the direct control of a range officer. So, if in doubt, ask. Those are probably some of the biggest things. And if you're at a safe area, like a safe table, you can't handle your ammo. You can have it in your pouches on your belt or whatever, but you can't like grab it and hold it in your hand, take it out, manipulate it, mess with it or anything else, or have a spent case in your hand, or have a dummy round in your hand, or have a dry fire laser ground training thing. One of the guys that we shoot with been shooting a long time. We got to the first stage at a match, and he went to make ready, and when he racked his slide, it ejected a I forgot the brand or whatever it is, but it ejected out one of the bullets with a laser in it, and the DQ because you can't have that in there. So it sucks. So things like that, those little things that'll get you. Be cognizant of them. I'm not going to say nobody's out to get you. I won't say that because there are those assholes that are out there that like to notch their belt at nationals and whatnot and matches and wherever. They get the rocks off, I think, trying to see who they can DQ. It is what it is. You're always going to have people like that.
Oh, yeah.
But for your first one, go as prepared as you can. Get you a good night's rest. Get your stuff prepared. And just focus on being safe. Know what the 180 is. Don't break the 180. But don't sit there and, oh, God, I can't break the 180. Focusing on it's going to make it worse. Just be aware of which way you're facing, the direction your gun's facing the whole time. Go to your targets and shoot them. Put 2 holes in the brown. And that's the one thing I tell people. You hit the target twice, right? Well, if you hit it in the black, shoot it again and hit it in the brown. If you shoot the white, shoot it again, but hit it in the brown this time. Because if you hit it in the white again, it's going to be diminishing returns after a while. But things like that. Just focus on the real basic things until you get a feel for it. Don't sweat anything else, Listen to some of the other people. They'll be glad to help you with stage plans. Your level of ability when it comes to shooting. You'll see guys that will just do crazy ass shit like I would do, or Jamie or Braden or other people would do. And you can control what's within your 2 footprints. Worry about that. Don't worry about anybody else.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going there just so I could do it. You know what I mean? I just want to get it over with. And yeah. So I heard of the 180 rule and the safe table. I didn't know you couldn't mess with your ammo. So I'll go on practice score and look at the rule book.
Yeah, well, so go to USPSA.org.
Okay.
Go there and you'll find a rule book there. You won't find. I don't think it's on Practice Score. I know it's on USPSA.org. If you download the USPSA app, it's on your phone there too.
Okay.
But see, what was it? You can handle your ammo everywhere but the safe table. Okay. So like reloading your magazines after you shoot, all that kind of jazz. No issues. Just when you're at that safe table, there's usually like a little like a box around the outside of it that'll be colored. It may be spray painted orange or white. It may not be. It may just be plain wood. But the table will be clearly marked safe table, and it'll even say no ammo. That's live ammo, dummy ammo, spent cases, anything that was, or could be construed as ammo.
Gotcha.
And if you feel more comfortable just not having anything on your belt, nothing wrong with that either. Just go there with just your gun in your belt. That way you can holster your gun. And if you have a locking holster, lock your gun in the holster. If you drop your gun, there's no problems. You just have to get an RO to pick it up for you. Drop it while you're under make ready and on a stage, then you get DQ'd for that. But that usually doesn't happen. So
one of the things you said, so you have to shoot each target 2 times, right? So if you miss, can you take another shot at it?
Oh, yeah. Well, so it depends. Yes, but so there's a couple of different types of stages. There's a Comstock, which you can shoot it as many times as you want to. You can make up your shots. You have a Virginia count, which means no. you only get a prescribed number of shots.
Okay.
So, and you also get a prescribed number of hits. So if you take an extra shot and you hit the target an extra time, you get 2 penalties out of it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's in the scoring zone.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have a fixed time, which is very similar in ways to a Virginia count. You have a total number of shots you can't exceed, and you have a number of hits per target you can't exceed, but you have to do it within a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's 10 targets and you have 8 seconds to do it, but you only shoot 5 targets, you're not going to get penalties for the targets you didn't shoot because you only had a certain amount of time to do it in. They're called non-penalty mics or non-penalty misses.
Oh, okay.
So don't rush yourself too much. I doubt you'll encounter one of those. They're not super common in locals. You'll see them mostly in majors, but it is out there, right? Steel, you just have to knock down. So as little as 1 shot on steel. If you see a stage and it has cardboard targets and steel on it, it'll be Comstock. You can't.
It's gonna be what? I'm sorry.
It'll be Comstock.
Okay.
As many shots as you want because you cannot have steel on a Virginia count stage.
Okay. Okay.
And one of the great tips to make you fit in real good with everybody after you shoot, if you need to like reload your magazines and get you a drink of water or whatever it is you got to do, go pee, do all that, and as soon as you get done, come back and start pasting targets. Always help out. Always help out with the resetting of the stage.
Okay. Yeah, that's what Josh Morgan said too, and Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, all the shooters, they said, everyone's very welcoming. I mean, and this, since we started this podcast, everybody that we've had on, everyone's been cool. Like the 2A community is very welcoming, and for all the people out there that are scared to join the 2A community, everybody is super nice. At least so far that we've met. We haven't really met any assholes.
You'll run. I've run across them. You will run across them, but they are few and far between. And a lot of times the community polices itself.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of take care of themselves, and the ones that are, they tend to realize they're not very welcome. They're not. People don't really want to mess with them. And
we don't want to be your friend.
Yeah. Not very welcoming to them when they start acting a certain way, and
That's right.
and that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Got enough against us as it is. We don't need anybody to
exactly.
first.
Right?
Yeah.
You're there. You're at a competition. And it's fun. It's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to be. You know what I mean? But do you have any, like, do you remember anything about your first match, or do you have any like really memorable stuff from matches, anything like that?
Oh man,
That's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good one. So I remember my first one. It was June of 2021. It was mine and Braden's first one. He got DQ'd his first match. It was the second or third stage. It was a barrel start, so you had to put your gun on the barrel. And we had read the stage brief and everything, and he had asked the RO. People were still pacing targets and resetting the stage, and he had asked the RO, says, "We start from the barrel, right? The gun on the barrel." He said, "Yeah." So Braden took his gun out and put it on the barrel. Well, he didn't tell him to make ready, and there were people downrange.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a the RO really didn't want to do it because I think he kind of
Understood
understood where it could kind of be thought of different, and Braden was kind of like, and Braden was 14 at the time.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So he was kind of like, So I said, all right, I said, look, no worries. Go take your gun off and come back over here and we'll finish up. I said,
Mm-hmm.
you hang out here and you just keep resetting and pasting and, you learn your lesson.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I tell people it's not if, it's when.
Mm-hmm.
Because inadvertently something's going to happen. You could turn the wrong way a little too much. Your hand could turn just the wrong way going from right to left. Running back up range to come around the wall, you didn't quite rotate your gun. And that happened to him in December at the Mid-Mississippi Christmas Classic. He was coming up to go around the wall, and was it a borderline call? It was, but the RO called it, and he earned a DQ for it for breaking 180. Like I said, it happens. But so I remember that happened, and then I realized that during the that first match, I was a very accurate shooter. I was also very slow because I had brought the the law enforcement mentality, and even I guess the Army mentality of standing there and shooting at the large paper target like the B-27s and for law enforcement qualification, and trying to get the center of the target every time. I did. I got a lot of alphas, whole lot of alphas, but I was probably in the bottom 3, 4, or 5 overall. So it's like, well, that's okay.
What's the?
I didn't really. Was that
No, I was going to ask you, what's the dumbest thing you seen someone do during the matches?
the dumbest thing I saw somebody do? I've seen two things, and they're both probably equally as dumb. One of them was got mad and threw a magazine downrange, which is dumb just because it's unsportsmanlike.
Mm-hmm.
It shows you're a petulant child. The other one was I was ROing and they didn't shoot at the target, and that earns, if you don't shoot at the target, it earns you an FTSA penalty, a failure to shoot at. You get a penalty for that, and then you get a penalty for 2 misses, and then you don't get any points for hitting it. So essentially, you're down 10, 20, 30. You're down 40 points essentially, right? And he didn't agree with that. Said he shot at it. He's like, how could I not shoot at it? I'm right here. I said, well, how could you miss it twice? You're right there. I mean, I'll play your fuck games all day. I don't care. So he continues on, and he's behind the line, or behind the stage, behind the shooting area, and he's upset, and he is arguing with the range owner about it, and he's beginning to get a little more vocal and colorful with what he's saying and how he's describing me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was getting pretty stupid of him.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, the range owner told him he better pipe down or he's going to kick him off his range.
Mm-hmm.
So he quit and settled down, and he apologized, and we shook hands and everything. It was all good. But he needed to learn a little self-control on that one. Those are probably the two dumbest things that I've seen. Because I'm not going to sit here and say somebody that breaks the 180 or does something like that. I'm not going to say it's a dumb thing. I don't think it's dumb because it happens.
It's a mistake, right?
Yeah, it's a brain fart mistake. Uh, I've seen people trip and fall, and it happened, or trip and fall, gunfire out of their hand, and they get DQ'd for that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people trip and fall, and the gun didn't fall out of their hand. I've seen people, slip, fall on their butt, and shoot between their legs, and shoot 2 steel targets in Puerto Rico. But I guess when I think of dumb things, I think of things that are controllable, and you just let yourself lose control, and like that, and that was one of them. I just I don't really have a lot of patience, I guess, for that. There's really no need for it. It's like, look, I understand getting upset with the call, and now we have video, so we can do that now, which is great.
So are all the matches like videotaped? Can you ask for footage or?
No, they're not. So like I'll wear a hat cam, and Braden will too, and then we'll usually have somebody third person videoing because put on Instagram. Well, like if you look at my Instagram, what you see, I mean, yeah, you'll see like maybe every stage on there or parts of it, or I'll make a montage, whatever. So a lot of times I won't put anything on there, good, bad, or indifferent. But I use it for personal development. So like if you look at like the one I posted where I made GM and limited optics on Saturday, I look at that stage run compared to my stage run that I did in open, right? And I see the flaws that I had on my run in open with my footwork versus my run in limited optics. But I look at the time difference that I had between open and limited optics, which they were fairly close. But I had better hits in open than I did in limited. So I look at those and I try to I dissect. I slow it down and I look and I try to pick out. Okay, I didn't lead with my eyes versus my gun on this transition, and that's what caused it slow. When I came in, I wasn't fully settled, and that's what caused me to throw the delta on the first target when I came in on the left side with my LO gun. And that's what I'm really doing with it. But when you have those recorded, to answer your question, you can use it then with the RM to get the use the video to argue your case.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, when me, Josh, and Austin went shooting last time, Josh got, it was either Josh or Austin recorded me in slow motion.
Oh yeah.
And that helped out a lot to actually see like how much my weapon was moving. Because when me and Rob went and shot his, what was that, Rob? A 22 Magnum?
Yeah.
And I had it in slow mo, and it was just like, this is what it was doing. Every time I pulled the trigger, it was doing this.
Yeah, man. So, I never. It wasn't until probably the end of January, beginning of February this year, when I really started to dig and dive deeper into why I do some of the things I do and where I can improve. And grip was one of them. I had previously subscribed to grip doesn't matter. Just it's a means to an ends to a means or whatever. But that's wrong. Is dreadfully wrong. I completely changed how I went about it in dry fire, in live fire, and how I check it, analyze it, and focus on it. Especially in dry fire, because I think you build everything in dry fire. That's your building blocks, your foundation, your fundamentals, and then you validate it, test it, and proof it in live fire. Because the one thing you don't get in dry fire is recoil. And I was when I went to open, it's compensated, it's ported, it's frame mounted optic, it's this, it's that. Yeah, but I'm getting worse hits than I was with my CZ. And I couldn't figure out why. And it's because I was having to change how I grab the gun. Number one, because I have a thumb stick. But then, my grip wasn't durable. It wasn't. I wasn't doing right. I had to explore the pressures I was applying and where I was. And by doing that, it completely changed. Completely changed how I shot. Immediate improvement. I mean, drastic improvement.
Where was the issue that you found in your grip?
So you always hear crush with your left hand or your support hand. Yeah, we'll say support hand. Crush your support hand, crush it, crush it, crush it. And that's fine. But, I would get more upper and midline pressure, like this way, here. Well, I found out I needed to have more this way.
On the bottom?
Yeah. So with my hand, now I wasn't like racking my elbows like this or anything. I wasn't changing any of this. I was still coming the same way, but in my hands, I'd have my grip in, right? I'm always this way, but when I have my grip, I wouldn't totally relax my right hand, and I'd have my grip this way, and then this little bit of pinching on with these where my pinkies are, and coming into here a little bit more. When I dry fire, I'd do like durability grills, and I'd just be like 4, 5, and 6 pulls on the trigger like that, just hard and fast, and the dot wouldn't move at all. So I'd work that in dry fire. I worked that in dry fire for a week, and I still do. I'd go to the range, and I'd rip doubles at 20 and 25 yards, and they'd be an inch apart. Like, something's different here. I was like, well, that's a big, huge change. And if you don't have a dry fire set up, I recommend something like that.
I like it.
Yeah, we had a guy from American Patriot Defense. His name is Clint. And he basically said most of the times that people are shooting all crazies because their pinkies are being a little bitch.
Yep. And and it's as much the pressure this way, but it's that and I don't want to make it over dramatic with this stuff, but it's that it's taking your hands and exploring the hand pressure is the best way to describe it. And when you're doing it and watching your dot on your target, it's one of the few times you actually kind of want to be more aware of your dot and see what you're doing. And when you can isolate it to where it's not moving, you got it. Then it's just remembering it and repeating it and doing it over and over again. I didn't quite have it that figured out for the Caribbean Open. I didn't do terrible, but I was shooting yellow. Aim for the coast. My first major in Open. I took high law enforcement in it. South Carolina had a pretty bad match. Had some other things going on. But then Alabama, I came in. I think it was 5th in Open. Had a much better match. Things had started to click, better with the grip and the returning of the gun. And I was beginning to get the footwork a little better and worked out. And now it's all kind of starting to come together better. So, working those things in dry fire, like I got like on the floor in here, like I've got tape on the floor. I'll be in here dry firing at night and running back and forth, practicing like 3-step entries and cross-step entries and all that kind of jazz. It's free. Dry fire doesn't cost. That's what took me. I know you talked to Jamie, and we were on the same path from February of 23 until December of 23. In Carry Optics, we both went from B to G, and then after that, we've kind of stuck like as he's done. I've done it, he's done it, he's done it, I've done it. We've kind of went back and forth with each other. We shoot together all the time, especially me, him, and Braden.
That's awesome.
When we was shooting with Josh, like shooting is one thing, but then you put footwork in it, that makes it like kind of a little.
Well, like when we were doing just those dot drills, remember, Rob, when we were just calling out just that little movement would throw your shot off so much, just because it's not like just stationary bang, bang, bang. You know what I mean? And all you got to really do is this. And it was throwing it's like one more obstacle that you have to like overcome. Just that small little bit of movement, and your brain's got to think like, okay, I heard 3, go to 3.
I think you jogged me on something too, and I think you made a great point. Shooting and the moving and the footwork and the this and the that. And it kind of goes back in with stage planning and so I was talking to a friend of mine tonight who's kind of new, and he's a cop also. And I was like, get the fundamental stuff, like get the shooting, with the dry fire and everything. Get the shooting down to where it's you don't have to think about it. You know what a trigger press is. You know what is. You know your dot return. You know what it's going to feel like, how it's going to be, what it's going to look like. You know all that, right? I think the mistakes that I made in the beginning was during stage planning, not having enough detail. You'll hear people say, "Oh, just simple plan, just these targets and that's it." No, that's a mistake. I'm sorry. It was for me. And a lot of people that I know have made that same mistake by following that same advice. Now, when I do stage planning, I am looking at it to where I'm going to come, if I'm outside the shooting area, right? I'm going to enter it using this method. I'm going to go to this point. I'm going to start my deceleration here to be to here. And then my targetry that I already know, I can do that, right? When I come to here, I'm going to exit this way. So I'm building more detail into it, an awful lot, because I think a lot of my problem was previously was just kind of running in there, and I have a problem with the shooting, running in there and just blasting shit and striped ass ape, I'm like,
taking ass and taking names.
I'm the most graceful motherfucker in the world. I can tell you that right now. You say you need some shit broke, send me that. And like Braden, he's kind of the opposite, but in a way, he tends to not keep both feet on the ground. I'm gonna fall the fuck over if I'm on one foot,
Yeah.
So I've got to force myself to remember to keep myself low, wide stance, low center of gravity, which is paying off a lot more than, old ballerina princess in there. So, I don't know.
You just got to find what works for you, right?
Well, yes. But there are some things that I'm not going to say, you have to, because there is no have to. I don't believe in absolutes of never and always. What I'm finding out that they're a lot more true than we give them credit for sometimes. I was never thinking about all this detail. It's like, I can just, yes, I need to know exactly where these are and how to shoot them, but I never got into the real weeds about how I'm going to approach. I'm not about setting my feet up to be able to leave once I get there. So instead of getting there, shooting, shifting my feet, then leaving, when I come in, I'm coming in set up already to leave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm cutting off seconds on stages doing that. So that's kind of the place I'm at now, and it's like, oh boy, if I'd have been doing this shit a year and a half ago, yeah. But
You live and you learn, right?
yeah, man, hey, you know, it's fun. That's all it is. You know, it's fun and it's an adventure and it's just a journey. You know, been happy to be on it.
Well, I looked at the people that squatted up so far, and there's a lot of deltas in there, so maybe it won't be that bad for my ass.
Well, so I will tell you, if you want to get better, you want to learn anything, squad with those that are better than you.
I mean, that was the only. So, what is the squatting thing? Because I just picked. So the first squad was full. Pick the second one. That's
well, and sometimes you have no choice. You just get where you can. You know, they just so they'll have however many spots available. So let's say like I'm the match director for match around here in Hattiesburg, and we have 5 squads of 12. So we have 60 spots available to match. So I put 12 on a squad, and that kind of keeps the flow going good. We usually don't have 60 people. We might get 35 to 40 max usually. You know, and that's it. So squad to squad to squad. You get where you can. Usually people that know each other will squad together. There's like a group of us that will all, you know, usually be in the same squad if we can. You know, if then like me, I'll have to look and see like if there's a whole squad of people that are new, then I may move myself and somebody else to that squad to give them ROs to make sure everything goes good and they're safe and they have officials to run the tablet and the timer and all that kind of jazz, you know. But yeah, the squad's just a way to keep people all done, and then they'll start you on a certain stage. Like, let's say there's 6 stages and you're squad 2. You may not start on bay 2, or you may not start on stage 2. It just depends on how they have it broken out. A lot of times they won't start you out on if they have a classifier, they won't start you out on a classifier stage. So let's say it's on stage 2, they may start you on 3 or on 1, and they'll put
basically just to rotate the people around and keep consistent shooting. Okay.
Yeah. So let's say there's only 3 squads and there's 6 bays, 6 stages. They'll go like 1, 3, and 6, or 1, 3, and 5. They'll start. That way there's a stage between everybody, so nobody gets backed up and waiting on another squad.
Gotcha.
Or on the longest stage and the shortest stage, and they'll make sure they have a gap for the shortest. You know, I mean, yeah, and that kind of jazz. You know, just flow. Try to get the flow and everything.
What optic do you like to use?
Vortex Defender XL. 5 MOA. I don't like that little shit. So for like to me, so I started on a RMR 3.25. I actually like that size. I've got to say, probably the best. It's kind of that in between the 2 and in between the 5. I guess because I was just so used to it. And I shot a Delta Point Pro on my staccato on my duty gun for a while. Yeah. But the size of the dot, you know, I liked. Then I went to an SRO 5 MOA. I shot that the whole time I was shooting a shadow. So from August of 22 until January of this year. And I mean, it was fine until I shot the Defender. That joker, it's just the glass is so clear on it. The dot's nice and crisp. I mean, I love it. You know, Braden was shooting the SIG Romeo 3XL, I think it was. And then he went to a Defender. And the SIG was real good, real clear, but they don't last.
They don't last.
No, they're not.
That's what I hear about their optics. They're not too durable or yeah.
Jamie had one on his DS9 lock, his limited optics MPA, and it lost 0. I want to say at Handgun Nationals back in September, and I was shooting my shadow because I just didn't have time to get used to a 2011 really yet, and I just happened to bring this one. It still had the SRO on it, so I said, "Here, take this one," and he took mine and was able to finish nationals with it.
Mm-hmm.
Then he sent it back, and he has a Defender on his. And I think Braden's 3 open guns. He's got Defender XLs. I've got a Defender XL on mine. I got it on my DS9 lock. I'll probably get my shadows retrofitted, for the Defender XLs. I just like them.
Mm-hmm.
They just came out with a 3 MOA green one, I think. I can't do a green dot. It distracts me too much. It grabs my eye too much. I just too dominant in my vision. But the 5.
Yeah, mine makes my eyes when I look at a green dot, it's like it just grows.
Or bleeds. It'll burst. No. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get a little bit of that too. But for me, it's like so just out there and distracting. It just grabs my attention so much. Yep. I just stare at it and I was like,
like a moth going to a flame.
Man, I tell you. Yeah, and then like on rifle optics, I mean, I'm an aim point guy. I mean, I had an EOTech, and I'll never buy another one.
Why you say that?
Because I had one of the ones that lost 0 when I was in Iraq. Yeah, no.
That's not a good time for that.
Going straight or sideways?
Do what?
Was that the ones that had the batteries going straight or the new ones that go sideways?
Straight. It was a 512, I think it was. Yeah. When you're shooting and it's like nowhere near where you're trying to hit. It's like,
especially at war.
I had to pop up the backup iron sight. It's like, not good. And I threw that son of a bitch out and got my CCO, which was the old school aim points that had
the
silver battery or whatever it was that went in it.
They had those on some of the 240s, and then the only other optic was the ACOG, which was on all of our M4s. Yeah, by Trigicon. Yeah.
Yeah, the ACOG was pretty good.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah.
I didn't mind those too much. The only bad thing was, unless you had the RMR mount, and I mean, you couldn't go in the house with it. Everything's like, all magnified. But I know it made weapons qual a whole lot easier.
Oh yeah.
You'd lay down at the 0 line. It's like, all right, you fire your 5 rounds. I'm like, all right. You're like, you gonna get up and look? I don't need to. I can see it from right here. 25 yards 0. I'm just like, click, 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 click. All right, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, some of them would shoot. So you know how I don't know how it was for you at your unit, but they would have so many M4s, and then the bottom of the barrel, it's like it's like first come first serve when they were issuing weapons, and then at the very end it's like, okay, well, we still have some M16A4s left over. Exactly. For you if you want them, so that would go to HHC or you know what I mean, like medics or something, and they would just whatever. And then of course they give the smallest guy the 240 or the saw, and that was just the nature of that every company did it the same in the battalion, probably the brigade.
Yeah.
They're trying to get them to become bigger. That's why.
Fun,
you're too little. Carry this heavy ass gun.
They had those red dots. What did you say it was? What did they call them?
The Trigicon?
No, it was
CCOs.
Yeah, they had ones on the. They had them on the 240 for
Oh,
some.
the
They
MGO,
were like an older model. Yeah,
the
uh,
machine gun optics.
yeah,
Yeah, they
and
still have them.
then I know completely different like subject or area, but they came out with these new like thermal, uh, like it was a monocular that had like thermal and like it would outline red for hot. You could switch between white and black hot and all that stuff. So that was pretty neat.
PAS 13s.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, a medium and a heavy. Medium for the light machine guns and a heavy for the 50 and the Mark 19.
Not that one. It was.
I know my second touring rack, they came out with like an individual thermal, like the
Yeah.
PBS 14s, the helmet mounted. Now they have the I call it hybrid. It's called something else, but like you're talking about, it's night vision and thermal together.
Yeah.
Those are pretty wicked. They're pretty expensive too.
Yeah, I
I
bet.
see all the fieldings.
It was like 10 grand for one, maybe even more, right?
Like 75.
Yeah.
I see all the fieldings of the new equipment for the infantry that comes out. Yeah,
Oh,
got cool shit. Yeah.
Cool shit.
No,
Why not?
you talking about the short dude getting the machine gun. We
Yeah.
went to Bosnia in 01, and in the wintertime, the shortest guy in the company, dude, he was barely 5 feet tall. And they gave him a saw. And a saw in the infantry is an individual weapon.
Yeah.
It's not crew served. And we didn't have short barrels or the collapsible stocks. Everywhere the sumbitch went, you'd see 2 footprints in a line where the barrel was dragging it. It was the absolute funniest shit ever.
Heck yeah.
Did you end up going to Kosovo?
No, didn't go there. Bosnia once and Iraq twice.
Gotcha.
When we had I was in a mounted company and they had these really cool like crow system
Mhm.
that had like it was basically controlled in a joystick and a screen, and we had MATVs, like mobile command centers with radios, computers, and crazy stuff, but all kinds of antennas. But they had a like a little flight simulator joystick thing. Dude, it was so cool. And we were able to like go out with the M2, the 240, and we got a chance to shoot some tow missiles from that thing, which was awesome. So
you had to pick the wire up afterwards.
They did, yeah.
They did. That's the worst part about shooting.
The infantry guys. Well, they had a lot of they just had the privates and stuff like do all those details. But we actually had one UXO, and they had to call in the EOD team to go detonate that thing because like you hear the click from the toe, and then nothing. Like it doesn't even come out of the barrel or anything like that. And everyone was just like, "Okay, everybody, just get out of the Humvee."
That sounds scary.
Right?
I think I got a video.
Yeah, it's not scary when you're sitting inside it. When you have to get out of it, hoping that bastard didn't kick off. Yeah. I can give you a tip. If you're ever inside of a Bradley in the gunner's hatch and you decide to shoot a tow, close the hatch. He gets warm fast. Real fast. That expulsion charge is what? I made that mistake. It's like, man, it's hot. I'll leave the hatch open. No, not good. Not good at all.
Not good at
all. So Billy, we're at an hour and a half. Are you good or?
Man, I'm good. Wherever y'all are.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Is that your unit?
Good old days.
Josh?
This was in the F4 drum. So yeah, he shoots that, and then he actually does pretty good. He hits he gets a direct hit.
That looks so fun.
I know,
Right.
man, it was. Except it was one of the coldest days like ever of that year.
Yeah, I mean,
It was,
Fort Drum is
it was like
like
-20 that day, man.
Jeez.
We kept going in back of the medic's truck because they had like the heaters at the bottom. So,
mm-hmm.
but
They got a
anyway,
damn diesel here in the back of that ambulance.
we didn't we didn't have that. I don't think we had the MATVs at this point. But yeah, man. So that was really fun, really good, memorable experience. And they had the what was it? I forget, but it was basically the same thing, the tow missile, except it was like on a tripod instead of mounted to a truck. But same principle.
I think mounting anything on a truck makes it cooler.
It does. I mean, you can't argue with that. I mean,
Right. Austin had a little electric. He's got that little golf cart, man. I was like, bro, you can break out the welder, and we could put like a little put some of your guns on there, man. Because I was thinking like if you had, well, I better not say anything. I'm not gonna say anything.
yeah. ATF hasn't been banned yet, so
Right.
hopefully they will. But,
Josh about to pull a Austin.
About to, but I didn't. But yeah, man. So I was thinking like that would be tough because they did they had like some of the special forces guys showing like anything goes. It's guerrilla warfare. Those guys are pretty much doing whatever they can to be effective in combat, survive, and they had they were pretty much doing the same thing like on quads. They were mounting all kinds of stuff like to whatever vehicle they could get their hands on. So
yeah, those dudes. They get a credit card and said, "Here, have
yeah,
fun."
like here.
Nice.
They make them into the Halo trucks.
Oh, the warthogs or whatever. Is that what you're talking about? Dimitri?
Oh, he
he got
lost Dimitri.
man.
Yeah, fuck your couch.
Yeah, he's talking about this thing. It's from it's let me share my screen.
I was wondering why
he's on the bottom now. Look,
what's up there with that stupid look on his face.
What was I like?
When Josh was asking you about the vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that right there.
Yes, sir. That's the one. I've always wanted to shoot that. You remember Jesse Ventura's character in Predator? He has that.
Minigun.
He has the minigun. I've always wanted to shoot one.
What do you think would be cooler to be mounted on a truck? I'm sorry, Josh.
No, what'd you say?
Dude, it's so hard to keep loaded.
Right? Which one do you think would be cooler to have mounted on a truck, a My Deuce or a minigun?
I'm not really, man. It's like 50 cal. The rate of fire just isn't that great to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty slow.
Now that they've got them where they have the built-in headspace, where they're not as finicky, I guess. But I remember in Iraq, it's just I'd rather have a 240. The 50 cal is going to go through whatever you want it to, and then whatever you don't want it to. We were shooting APIT out of it, so it's not a whole lot to stop it.
Cut through something like butter.
Yeah, but man, the 240, I could just get so much more down faster. I've always I'm a Bradley master gunner, from back in the day, so I was just a little more partial to the 240, I guess. But the minigun. So we had a 5.56 minigun on our first sergeant's 113.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah, until you got to shoot that bitch, and you need fucking 8,000 cans of ammo.
Hey.
Yeah, you need no more.
You could chop something in half, right?
Yeah, there's that, but
The cool
I
part.
mean, I think he
The
kept
hard
it.
part
name
is
with it.
That's why I'm sitting on there about a week. He took that fucker off. It's like no. The Blaha wouldn't give us more ammo at the Calcoo. It's like no, we're good. No more.
It's getting too expensive.
But they couldn't keep it. That was 05. They didn't really have a whole lot to go around. So he took it off, put a 50 cal on it because
Spending too much of the taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
They wanted to pocket some more.
Like
Right.
that matters. That doesn't really matter though.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of pocketing money, did you see that report that came out from Zelensky?
Yeah, dude. I put it on the 2A Brotherhood story.
Yeah. You posted it. That's right. I remember. I saw that.
Dude,
I was like, ooh, interesting.
did you guys see it? Ah, shit, I'm using my phone.
Yeah, here.
If you go to 2A Brotherhood on Instagram,
Yeah, that was
like 93 million of Joe Biden. $93 million got kicked back to Joe Biden.
And
That's
Dan Crenshaw of all people.
Right?
Man, it's only 93 million. It ain't 100.
Yeah, out of all the billions, you know what I mean?
Dan
I guess
only
he
got
wasn't
20
lying
million.
when he said he only got like 60 million. Yeah, there you go.
Ukrainian
I don't know if you can
officials
zoom in on that.
The kickback numbers they gave it's not gonna let me. Kickback numbers they gave U.S. politicians. Joe Biden $92 million. Mitch McConnell $89 million. Nancy Pelosi $86, and so on and so forth.
Old mittens.
Jeez, man. Oh, whoops.
It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
You can probably click on there and then go to the actual post. That might let you see post. There you go.
But I would be happy with 20 million.
Dude, apparently you could have just asked for money from them and they would have just gave it to you. It was 100% fucking acceptance rating.
Cash Patel looks surprised like a motherfucker on there, doesn't
he? Yeah, right. Like he didn't get any of that money.
Leave me off the list, guys.
Look, good old Nancy, right? Insider trading and everything else, right?
Right? Like she doesn't have enough money.
She can hire some security for her husband now.
Right? After his lover wanted to smack him around with a hammer, right?
Hold up, what?
The hammer.
Yeah.
What happened?
You ain't see the video of Nancy Pelosi's husband getting attacked by, I think they said some random person, in the house in his underwear with his husband.
They get attacked, all right.
Right? Yeah.
Was that a woman?
Was.
May have identified as a woman.
Right.
So it was a dude. So
you didn't see that, man? That was on that. That was everywhere.
I haven't seen it. I haven't.
Anytime
I get on my phone, I'm trying to do crap for the podcast. I don't really.
It was a while ago, man.
This was not a random act. Intruder attacks Pelosi's husband, calling "Where is Nancy?" Or was that it? Or no?
Give me millions.
She
gave me the wrong stock. That fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her husband was getting his shit pushed in. That's what was going on.
You gonna go to training day, bro?
I got a feeling at his age it wasn't solid already.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
And Nancy Pelosi, crooked as a burl of snakes and shit. I remember somebody asked her about insider trading and the bitch got attitude with him.
Right, like, how dare you question my ethics?
Was that the video or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is going on right now? I'm not getting an answer on call. Oh. Shit.
full force with that hammer.
Oh, that's the cops.
Bro, hey. What is going on right now?
I'm not getting an answer on call back.
Bro,
You know he made contact.
In the area that
That wasn't the only hammer that hit him.
give me your hand.
So why did the dude wait until the cops show up to hit him in the head with a hammer? That's crazy.
The question is, why did her husband act surprised by seeing the police?
Oh no!
Oh no, they're at my house.
I'm caught.
Where's Nancy? Well, I got the next best thing. Let me just attack her husband.
That's how they spun it.
Detailed alleged assault of Nancy Pelosi's husband.
You know, it's sad when you're known as your wife's husband. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's usually the other way around.
But I will say, if he was, I think he could have did better than him in that, right?
I mean, well, I wasn't the only one thinking that. I mean, you in California, you in San Francisco, shit, you can hire something like that.
At least somebody with a six-pack, right?
You know what I mean?
That's a tubby fat ass with a hammer to show
looked
up.
like he went around picking up homeless people.
Do you think he didn't pay
I wouldn't
him?
insult homeless people like that.
You see,
Yeah,
Pete,
I don't think he paid him. And then he got pissed and grabbed the hammer. He was like, "Get out!"
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Hold up a second."
Yeah, man. So did you guys see that Pete Hegseth? He's like threatening to polygraph a bunch of like high-ranking officers.
Who's Pete?
Good.
Whatever.
He's sec def.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So
dude.
it's like,
Line them the fuck up.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Including Trump. You know
man.
what I'm saying?
There needs to be
Everybody. I don't give a
accountability
shit who they
all
do
the
it
way
to.
around.
If Trump is crooked and is fucking over this country, get him out of there. It doesn't matter. Republican, Democrat, get them out. That's all that matters.
Especially if
You know what I
Doge
mean?
already like found incriminating evidence of corruption, like they should just start to make the arrest now, you know,
Yeah.
and then hold their
Well,
trial. Or
Doge found it was like a kickback for Obamacare to Obama.
to
Like
himself.
he was getting like I think it was like $4 million a year or something like that. Don't quote me on that number, but I also had it on the story.
Yeah,
But
I'm
that was
hearing something
yesterday.
about it.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like, how the fuck are you gonna get a kickback for screwing up healthcare more than it was?
I guess the same way
Kind of how they work.
Biden and everyone else did.
Well, so when Obamacare got passed, if you did not have health insurance, you got penalized.
Yeah.
Because that was 1 year I didn't have it for the majority of the year because I got laid off, and I think I had to pay like $500 something in my taxes.
Listen,
wild?
there's always a way for kickbacks. Always.
Apparently, he was trying to help everybody, not himself.
Right.
We can make a little room here for a kickback. Or two.
Oh
Just a
yeah.
little $4 million, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just a cool $4 million.
That's pocket change, man. That's walk around money.
I'm not asking you to vote for this. I'm just asking you to not show up.
Right.
Yeah. That's the trick in DC right there.
So they keep all the fact checkers are coming out of the woodwork talking about how it's not Obama didn't do that. He didn't steal millions from U.S. taxpayers.
He didn't
Obama
do shit
would
for
never
black
do that.
people.
Of course he did. What are you talking about?
No, he would never do such a
Among
thing.
other things.
It's
I
Obama.
think
Come
Obama
on.
did a lot for black people. I think he said a whole lot of stuff backwards a whole lot of years.
Oh yeah.
You ain't lying.
The best one is when Michigan is like people in Michigan are dying from dirty water, and he's like, "Give me a cup of water," and took like that tiniest little swig. Like, yeah, it's fine. Look, I drank it.
Yeah.
It
I
barely
think
touched
back
his
to
lips.
the Flex commercials from Africa. We're like, we get water in Africa.
Yeah, exactly.
The Flex commercials.
You seen that? Have you seen those where they're talking about? Now talking about people in Africa don't have water, and then these dudes will be like just dumping water everywhere. We've got water.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I saw one the other day. It's hilarious.
Here we go. Here's just his tiny little swig. Watch this, y'all. I'm gonna drink it.
Play the
water
audio.
clean as hell. Look at it.
That was not out the tap. That was from a Deer Park water bottle.
Need a glass of water. This is not a stunt.
He has to convince everybody.
Deer Park, that shit's evian. What are you talking about? That's
Before
Pellegrino.
crowd of 1,000.
I really did need a glass of water. This is not a stunt.
President Obama took a sip of Flint's filtered tap water. President Obama took a sip
He didn't
of
even drink
Flint's.
shit.
It barely touched his
like,
lips.
President Obama took a sip of Flint's filtered tap water, assuring the people there.
Now listen, y'all.
And the crazy part is, not this election, the previous election, Michigan voted for Joe Biden. Like, that's crazy. Like, and after this, look at that tiny little. Look, the water barely moved. It's not a stunt.
He know better to drink that shit.
He says it wasn't a stunt, but that's exactly what it was.
Right?
Yeah, to let him know.
He could sell salt to a slug. All right? That's how good he is. He's a good speaker. You know what I mean? He's very articulate. So people are like, "Oh, he would never do anything bad to us."
Give me a cup of that water.
Bill Clinton was the same way.
Yeah, give me a cup of that water. You know, my uncle died last week, but I don't know. Obama just had a sip.
Right.
Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. Obama took a sip. All right, yeah.
Right.
Man, best president ever, huh?
Crazy.
Apparently, well.
Nah, Biden beat him for that. The worst. President.
Yeah. Most popular president because he got 81 million votes. And the other one was that he had it was like 81 million votes, and then the previous election, or the one Trump just won, was like 74 million. So there was like millions and millions of people that didn't vote for some reason this time, like this election.
They didn't count the dead people.
And the dead people decided not to vote this time.
Right.
I forgot.
Dude, you remember that, man, there was a time we couldn't even talk about the election at all, or else we would get the video would just be taken down, and like
misinformation.
Even in the military, they had they were like not allowing service members to discuss the election last November for for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, just because. But yeah.
My favorite one was when Joe Biden was like waving at nobody, going up to Air Force One, right? And then a fact checker checked it, and it said he was waving at the fire department. Dude, the fire department was like 2 miles down the freaking road.
No, he did not.
You know what I mean? So that was the fact check. He was waving in that direction to nobody, but it was the fire department in that direction. Like,
it don't matter. He wouldn't know who the fuck he's waving at anyway.
Dude, he
was.
The Easter Bunny, man. The Easter Bunny.
The Ether Bunny.
had to come up and rescue him. Yeah, it was so funny, man. And then probably one of the worst was he when he was checking his watch during the memorial, the transportation of the 13 Marines, the service members that passed away. And I was like, I got somewhere important. I got to go get some ice cream.
Yep, ice cream in and out.
Like, when the fuck is this shit gonna be over?
I gotta go find Pelosi's husband.
Yeah. Chocolate chip.
You need to powder his nose.
Yeah. Wow, all of that magic powder belongs up my nose, doesn't it?
I wonder how many bags of cocaine is going to get found now.
They're like stashed all over
Right.
wherever Hunter was. He
Right.
stashed in places.
Man, if I was Barron Trump, I'd be up in that motherfucker looking everywhere.
Right. Right.
You know that's some of the Colombian premier. Pablo Escobar would dream about that shit.
That disco shit.
That disco shit.
You know it hadn't been stepped on either. Talk about zipping a white girl.
Oh shit,
right.
Right. I feel alive.
Why am I tingling?
Right.
That house is white.
Here, check this out.
Shit.
Check this out right here. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him.
Look at Kamala acting like nothing's wrong, that stupid bitch. Look at you like, yeah, you killing it, Boston.
Get it, Joe.
Keep up the good work, Joe. I'm gonna slap you on your back towards the end, but you keep up the good work.
That was another one of the Supreme Court justices. One of those crazy lefty.
Well, they've done a fucking letdown recently, haven't they?
Yeah. Oh, the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Yeah, they come up with some dumb shit.
Mm-hmm. They
What
can't
dumb
have
shit did they come up?
They can't let us be too free, you know.
Well, yeah.
What do they do?
What do we got here?
What was that one that just happened? It was Thomas and Alito were the only two that dissented.
Alternative energy. Let's see. Prohibited. Was it the retirement or the
Drawing a blank.
Venezuelans? The government application to vacate the temporary restraining orders that prevented removal of Venezuelan nationals designated as aliens.
I don't think it was that. It was
yeah. Okay, then
shit.
It's probably like a couple weeks ago, maybe. Because I'm on the Supreme Court website.
I know Alito and Thomas were sole dissenters.
Let's see.
Like, yeah.
Alito. Thompson versus United States. Maybe. That was the Patrick Thompson took out 3 loans from one bank. After the bank failed, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation became responsible for collecting outstanding loans. We got Department of Education versus California, Medical Marijuana Incorporated versus Horn, Wages and White Lions Investment. Oh, United States versus Miller.
What was
bankruptcy. The case concerns the powers given a bankruptcy trustee. Okay, and let's see.
I think it was
Vanderstock.
a deportation case,
maybe?
Here
you go. Bondi, Attorney General.
5 days ago?
The Gun Control Act requires those engaged in importing, manufacturing, or dealing in firearms to obtain federal licenses, keep sales records, conduct background checks, and mark their products with serial numbers. Okay, then
Damn, we lost Josh and Dimitri.
Damn.
Section treatment. Partially completed frames. Section 7.
I bet you Dimitri computer. Oh, there you go. Damn.
Everybody's dropping off. I think it's time to wrap this thing up, huh?
We went too far.
Did we tell Billy what to do when this happens?
I don't think so. I forgot.
Oh, there he goes. There he goes. He's back.
Oh,
okay. All right.
Sure. Yeah.
He figured it out.
We're 5 minutes away from the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, Rumble's like
I'm going to be next.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, Billy, let's end it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, we're starting to get the difficulties with
Right.
that come along with Rumble. You know what I mean?
You got to unmute
You,
yourself, Billy.
there goes Rob.
Everybody's getting kicked.
But yeah, Billy, thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming
I think
on
it was
today.
AAR Trump, something like that.
Oh,
You want
okay.
to finish that thing about the Supreme Court before we end it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
The detention and removal of Venezuelans? Was that the one? Trump versus JGG? Or was it
Yeah,
That
you
may
were
before
have
that?
just
been it.
talking about the
This was the most recent one. I
manufacturing.
didn't get a chance to really.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
didn't get a chance to really look at it.
yeah. There was a handful of them, but the federal government initiated removal proceedings against petitioner Monsalvo Velasquez. So yeah, there's a lot. I'll post the page to the chat and into the description if anybody wants to look at the most recent Supreme Court cases.
You,
So
you, you know what? I don't understand. A lot of these people come over here because of their living conditions and everything. But the reason why most of them like that is because of corruption,
the
wherever they
corruption of
came
their
from.
yeah.
So why don't they urge our government to tell them to do what they need to do so they get treated right instead of for them to come over here? You know
Well,
what I
That's a
mean?
good
there's the
point, man.
quid pro quo somewhere down the pipeline.
Like corruption is the reason why they're shitholes.
Well, yeah, that's
Usually.
why the U.S. sent special forces into Mexico to take out the cartel.
And then the Mexican government saying we better treat their people right. Like, bitch, you didn't treat them right.
Right.
Yeah, you remember? We talked about it a while ago, but the Mexican government sued like some company in like New Mexico or something. Like it was a gun company
Yeah.
for
Oh, they
saying,
tried to
"Oh,
sue.
your guns are coming into Mexico, so we have the right to sue you now." Like what?
Like, do we have the right to? I think they tried to sue Glock and a few other ones. So if they
Hmm,
tried to sue them, can we sue Mexico for the drugs and the ODs that's happening over here?
yeah,
For the cartel killings over here, can we sue them?
yeah. Like where's the compensation for that? Like every
Right.
time a U.S. citizen dies, you know.
Mm.
But whatever. Anyway, look, guys, you can listen to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and Amazon. Also, you can we have our sponsors, Goliath Defense and Cocked Firearms. You can use promo code 2AB at checkout to receive 10% off on site wide. So everything they got to offer, up to and including a Barrett 50 cal. So go check them out. They got some great stuff.
If he doesn't have it, he can get his hands on it.
Exactly.
Yep.
And
Also,
American Asshole. Don't forget about American Asshole. He was cool.
He actually just hit me up. He's gonna get his buddy to come on. He's I think he was like the something about two gun. I think
Mm.
he's like a two gun
oh,
competitor.
nice.
So we've never had one of those on. So
You have any sponsors, Billy, or anything that you want to shout out while you're on here?
Hmm.
You have any?
Man, I'm my own sponsor.
all right.
You know, but yeah, Braden, he's sponsored by MPA, and
Masterpiece Hans.
I'm, I guess loosely part of the family. I love those guys.
Yeah.
Hang out with them,
Loosely.
shoot with them when I can. And yeah, had a blast with y'all. Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
the season's just starting off, so a long one ahead of us, and culminating in October with Ray Gun Nationals. So we'll see what it all holds for us.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Billy. Also, sponsor what? Shout out to Paul Pelosi or no?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Billy. Yeah, we appreciate you coming on and talking with us. That was great. Yeah, you're welcome back anytime.
I think he's stuck.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, it's that time, like you were saying, you know, when
Dude, every time it gets around 2 hours, it's like.
Yes,
they
sir.
get loosey
Yeah, not too bad.
goosey.
No,
Yeah.
you're good.
Right, Billy. I know you're here in spirit.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There
There
you
you go.
go.
There you
She
go.
started moving again.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for coming on, and tell Braden if he wants to get on here so we get a young man's perspective on the shooting. So just you have my number. Send me a text and let us know.
Yes,
Hmm.
sir.
All right, everybody.
God bless you, Billy. Thank you again.
I appreciate it.
And we'll
Thank
see you
y'all.
next week. All righty. Take care.
See you
Toodaloo.
guys.
All righty.